And, one thing I want to ask is, does this work for everyone? I got this listener question because when people found out that you were coming, oh my God, it was like our website crashed. Ruby wrote in, why do some people have natural muscle tone and some of us can eat right, work out, and we are still flabby and not toned?
There are lots of things on this, and I wish that Ruby was in this room because then I could say, well, let's look at your morphology, so your body type. So there are some women who have a better predisposition for building muscle. We call those mesomorphic. And then we have other women who struggle really hard to put muscle mass on, and they tend to be a little bit flabbier. And that is more of our endomorphic. And then we have in the middle the ectomorphic that are the super skinny Kate Moss. And most of the time people are a mix of that.
Okay.
So when we look at those different muscle types and you're looking at doing all the work and not getting any benefit, I want to see what kind of training you're doing. Because if we are looking at when you're eating and how you're complementing your exercise, then we can make gains. And every woman's a little bit different. Like my sister, she isn't so into athletics and stuff that I am. We grew up in the same household, but I was always out building tree forts and she was in reading books. But over the past year, she's really put herself into getting stronger and strength training. Body composition is changing. Her grip strength is stronger. And she's like, I never really thought that lifting weights would help me change my body composition. I was like, why have you not thought of that? Like if you're lifting under load, you build muscle. She's like, but then that's weight on the scale. And I was always afraid of the weight on the scale, not the outcome of looking better.
Right. And then we also, because we've been so gaslit to think that it's about being so thin.
Right.
And that's what's desirable, that you hear build muscle and you're like, but I don't want to bulk up. I'm actually trying to lean down.
Yeah.
And what you're saying is, no, this is actually like putting on your own Spanx with your muscles.
Right.
It tightens you up.
Right. And I will say, like I sit here and I know people always comment about my arms. And
it takes a lot of work to get arms like that, I would think.
Yeah. But the other thing is,
they're amazing arms.
Thanks.
I'm wearing a long sleeve shirt for a reason. If I had your arms, I'd be wearing a tank top too.
I would love it if all of this would go lower body. Like I have tried for years to get really strong hamstrings and really strong glutes. They're strong, but they're not bulky. It's just mesomorphic up here, ectomorphic down. So it's the difference in the combination. But I went through a time where I was really upset with the fact that I had more muscle. Like when I was bike racing, I tried really, really hard to lose it, but I couldn't because my body's like, no, this is how you are born. So women who are like, I'm really trying to build muscle, it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get bulky. If you don't have a genetic predisposition for putting muscle on really, really easily, it's really hard to get bulky. And for most women who are trying to put muscle on, not eating or doing lots of cardio work, you're not going to put muscle on. It's really hard to get bulky.
So what do you want everyone to know about exercise as opposed to diet?
So when we look at all the diet trends that are out there, right, we see the plant-based, the carnivorous, the keto, the intermittent fasting, all of the things. They are born out of a want for better health, body composition, better gut, all of those things. But if you exercise, then you get all of those things. And
wait a minute, say that again?
Yeah.
Okay, so hold on a second. So all of those diets are designed to try to create a health outcome through eating.
Yes.
But if you exercise, the exercise provides the health outcome?
Yes. Because we look at exercise as a stress. Like we have gotten into a societal idea that we all live in the same kind of temperature. We have automatic garage door openers. We have the internet. We have our computers, even driverless cars. So we have created this environment where we don't move. The outcome of having an environment where we don't move, and we don't have a lot of green space or opportunities to even walk places, is now we have this obesity epidemic. And even if you're not facing obesity, you're facing some overweightness and you're being bombarded by all these diet styles. if we were just to put a pause on the diet style and just take a step back and say, you know what, if I go back to eating normally, which means that I'm eating breakfast, lunch, dinner, and I'm not eating snacks after dinner, and I'm kind of paying attention to kind of food that I'm eating so it's nutrient dense. It's not all these ultra processed things. There's no protein Pop-Tarts because it says protein on it.
You know what I call this, Dr. Sims? The grandparent diet.
Yes. Okay.
Basically how your grandparents lived.
Right. Exactly. And then you put in some exercise. Because exercise is a stress, the body's very adaptable to stress. So if we're looking at doing a longer, harder walk up a hill, after a couple of weeks of doing that, it's going to be easy because your body's adapted to that stress.
Oh.
We call it getting fitter, but actually your body has adapted all of its mechanisms to that stress. So if we're looking at how do I get a better...
Okay, so hold on a second. So I just had this like epiphany.
Okay.
I can't believe how many bombs you're dropping today. Like I've never thought about exercise that way because I've focused on you have to exercise to get in better shape. What you're saying is exercise is intentionally moving and stressing your body in a way that it needs and is designed to do.
Yeah.
And in response to the stress, your body gets stronger at being able to manage stress.
Exactly.
Oh my God.
It's a stress resilience.
And the reason why we're so flabby and everything else is because we're sitting around and not moving and not stressing our bodies in the way that we need to.
Right.
And that only makes us more stressed out.
Right. Because we look at stress, mental health, all of the things that are really plaguing everyone. Mm-hmm. And the part of it is lack of community, lack of empathy, all of these things that breed depression, mental health, and the fact that we aren't moving our bodies. There's so much research out there that says if you go for a walk, you are reducing stress. If you go for a walk and you actually go to a green space, so that's to a park, and you're in nature, it induces an incredible parasympathetic response, which means that you reduce stress. But because we are so ingrained to doing all the things all the time inside, sitting and not actually getting outside, having the fresh air, having that connection with being outside and moving our bodies, we are by design now a global of very stressed out, unempathetic, depressed people. And if we're talking about how do we just make one small change to improve our mental health, that's exercise. I'm not necessarily here as an exercise physiologist to tell you, the listener, to go out and go for a long, hard walk because you want better body composition. I'm here as an exercise physiologist to explain what exercise is. It is an incredible positive stress on the body that creates changes from central nervous system down to the smallest little thing in your cell to improve your overall stress resilience and metabolism, meaning how your body handles food, how your brain reacts to stress, how your brain perceives an environment. And just the moving part really does help bring center and bring yourself back to you.
I believe it. And I want to see if I can just use an example to try to really paint the picture of what you're teaching us right now, which is an entirely different way to think about the importance of movement and exercise, strength training, whatever it is that you're going to do. Mm-hmm. When you go for a walk, and let's say you go for a walk and you were mentioning you go for a walk and there's a hill in your neighborhood. And when you have to go up the hill, we've all experienced this, you get shortness of breath. You got to be using your legs a little bit more to go up the incline, make it a little winded, a little sweaty.
Yep.
Even if you got a dog on a leash pulling you up the hill, like you're going. And that is you, by exercising your body, putting yourself in a stressful situation, right? Because it's requiring your body to exert effort and to move against that incline. And it's designed to do that.
Yeah.
And if you keep doing that over time, what you're actually doing, in addition to all the positive things that happen, is you're training your body on how to be strong in situations that are stressful.
Right.
So the more that you walk And the more that you build muscle and the more that you take the advice that you're about to give us about what we should specifically be doing as women, fast forward 6 months from now, if you keep doing that and you're sitting in a stressful meeting at work, the impact of that outside stress on you is going to be way less because you in your life have been strengthening your body by going to the gym and going for a walk so that your body can actually be in stressful situations and not get hijacked.
Exactly. So the whole flight or fight response that people talk about with cortisol, we're flighting. We're teaching our body that flight by exercising, and your body's like, this is a stress. I need to understand it, overcome it, get stronger. You could also think about it as the fight response too, because if you're in the gym and you're building the muscle and you're ready to go, coiled up, ready to go, your body's learning that stress because we're not an algorithm. We adapt to so many different things. So if we put our body into an uncomfortable or a challenged situation, it doesn't like it. So it learns how to overcome that and get stronger in the process. So when as you're explaining it, it's like, yes, it's all about stress resilience. If we're resilient to stress in a meeting, our immune system is also really resilient to stuff that's going around. And we're also resilient enough to maintain a focus if we're getting ready to lose it and our kid goes off. Like we're not going to break down and start yelling at our partner or our kid because we have this stress resilience. We're able to take that pause.